welcome everybody to Westside High School, home of the Westside Warriors, for Friday Night Lights presentation here on ASU-TV and Ritter Communications. Hello everybody, I'm Tristan Harlan here with my broadcast partner for this evening, Cooper Melder. Cooper, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing good, Tristan. Thank you for asking. And we got another Friday Night Lights game, but for Westside, this is the last home game of the season for them. It's senior night, and they're going to have another tough matchup as they're taking on the one-loss Rebels.
Right, and of course, Westside, they've only been able to get one win on the season to this point, and I'm sure that Coach Engel and the rest of the staff are going to want to finish out their home side of the schedule strong with a win here tonight. But Cooper, talking about this Westside team, of course, we've been here for the majority of the season, and it's kind of been carbon copy from previous years. I mean, running the ball has kind of been the dynamic of the offense, and, you know, stopping the run's been the dynamic of the defense. But I got to ask, you know, ahead of this one, what do they got to do to win?
Well, with this Westside team, you got to look, you're talking about their offense. Their offense comes into this game only averaging 12 points a game. So, you know, it's been a struggle all year. They've had a good, one really good offensive game where they scored 34 points. But besides that, it's been a struggle for them. Like I said, only averaging 12 points a game.
Right, so we're going to take a step away ahead of kickoff. We'll be right back. You're watching Friday Night Lights right here on ASU-TV and Ritter Communications.
Most of us are in touch with the internet in one way or another all day long. A fast, secure connection matters. It keeps us entertained, informed, in touch. Ritter Communications cares about your connection. We know strong, reliable internet with your choice of speeds makes life better. To learn more about our internet and Wi-Fi choices, call or visit rittercommunications.com.
Students should watch ASU TV just to see the creativity that a college student can get. The creativity that some of these students have is truly amazing. Getting that experience can really just take you further, and I feel like our program does that for a lot of students.
Around here, we like a slower pace, but we don't suffer with slow internet. Ritter Communications provides high-speed, reliable internet and Wi-Fi backed by local customer service. From email checkers to video streamers to hardcore gamers, we've got speed options to please all kinds of folks. If you need an upgrade or just have a question, get in touch. We can't wait to help. Ritter Communications, the right internet connection, right by you.
Here to deliver the latest news on A-State sports, ranging from football, basketball, baseball, and more.
I'm your host, Tristan Harlan, alongside your other host, Cooper Melder.
Red Wolf Roundtable is your local sports source.
Tune in to Red Wolf Roundtable to get your fix on sports talk and news.
And welcome back to Warrior Stadium, home of the Westside varsity football team, for another Friday night presentation here on ASU-TV and Ritter Communications. Of course, once again, I'm Tristan Harlan here, joined with my broadcast partner, as usual, per all season long, except for one game, Cooper, the Juice Box Melder. And Cooper, you know, we were talking briefly about Westside and what their offense needs to do, but kind of go back into that real quick as we wait for Westside to receive the opening kickoff.
Yeah, so like I was saying earlier, Westside's offense comes into the game only averaging 12 points a game. You know, during warm-ups, we saw them actually throwing a lot of passes, so I don't know if we're going to see a little different style offense today, or if it's just going to be the same Maryland Eye or the quarterback tornado move where he's spinning around in the backfield. But this offense, they're going to need a chew clock, and, I mean, I'm going to keep it simple. They have to get into the end zone.
Right. Well, of course, Westside, they're wearing the traditional red uniforms, white cap, white helmets, and Highland, they're in their white uniforms and gray helmets. We're awaiting the opening kickoff, and here it is. We're underway with the final home game of the 2024 regular season. Westside going to be able to bring it back to great field position to start this off back from their own approximately 30. So here comes the Westside offense. Of course, as we've mentioned, they've really been able to run the ball, nothing but run the ball so far this season, and we're going to see what they're going to do on this opening drive.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting if we're going to see any of the passing that's been done in pregame come out here early tonight.
First and 10 from the 31-yard line. Quarterback's going to hand it off to his tailback, and that play's not going to gain much, if anything, there.
Yeah, and, you know, Tristan, before the game, we're talking about how the quarterback, he does that little spin move in the backfield, and I know we brought it up last week if there's any benefit to it, but when we really start breaking it down, it's honestly kind of doesn't help him out as his back is turning away from the defense.
Right. Second down here for the Warriors. Going to hand it off that time. The play's going to be blown up in the backfield. Third down coming up for Coach Ingles' offense. Now, going back to what we were talking about with the tornado spin move, and yeah, you know, we were really breaking it down pregame, and as you mentioned, the backs to the defense, and of course, we've seen Westside's offensive line allowing the defensive line to really get into the backfield quickly. So, I mean, look, I'm not going to sit here and say that it's not a smart move. I'm sure there's a reasoning behind it, but given the record of what it is, it's kind of questionable.
Yeah, and I really don't like it because if your back's turned away for half a second, you don't get to see that first initial setup of the play.
And I do believe Highland may have jumped off sides there. And that's what the call will be. So they're going to move the ball up 5 yards. But, you know, going back to what we were saying, and of course I want to bring this up too now that it's happened, is that Westside tries to get the defense to jump off sides early. But again, when you're spinning your backs to the defense, I mean, of course, you're familiar with the Dead Sea. You talked about it a bunch. And similar formations of this. I mean, you've got to be able to make that read within a split-second notice.
Yes.
3rd and 11 from the 32-yard line. Quarterback going to drop back. He's going to throw it, and the ball's going to be dropped incomplete.
And that's a play we actually saw during warm-ups today. Westside, we were saying they were out there passing, and we saw that screen play, and we're like, I wonder if they're actually going to use it. And that play would have worked if he would have held on to the football.
Right. So 4th down coming up for the Warriors. 2 return men are back deep for the Highland Rebels, awaiting this probable punt here. Low snap. Punt away, almost got blocked at the line, and that one's going to roll. It'll be returnable. Highland's going to break one, and he's going to be brought down just past midfield. I believe that was Ronnie Brewer on the return.
And, you know, the Rebels doing something smart, unlike last week, Pocahontas, they never sent a return man back there, and they let them get pinned deep into their own territory. But for Highland, they have 2 guys back there, and, you know, it's beneficial because they know they can attack this Westside team and get their offense into good field position.
Right, so here comes the Highland offense now after stopping Westside on a 3 and out. They'll take over from their own 48-yard line with 10 minutes left to go in the first quarter of play. Going to hand it off here. He's going to break away the left side. Still on his feet, trying to spit away in that run there by Keegan Statler.
And, you know, great O-line blocking from the Rebels. He had time to go up the middle, act like he was going to go back outside, then cut back up the hole.
2nd and 5 from the 43. Quarterback's going to drop back, throws it, open receiver, still on his feet, breaks away from another, and he's finally going to get brought down. Zach Huckabee on the catch.
And the Rebels just keeping it simple, just a short, simple route, and let the big man make a play.
Of course, the quarterback, number 8, Austin Christie, with a tremendous pass there to move his offense. Hand off around the left side. Has a couple of Warriors to beat. Stiffs arms the defender before he's forced out of bounds after gaining approximately 5 on the play.
And just getting to the outside, keeping it simple on the running game, out of the shotgun. Followed his blocks, got about 7 yards.
Second down. Highland tries to get Westside to jump off sides. 3 men in the backfield is Christie, Statler, and Huckabee. Christie's going to keep it himself as he steps back up to the middle, and he gets brought down by a tribe of Warriors, bringing up third down.
And it looked like initially that play was supposed to go more to the outside, but the Warriors defense read that play, forced them back inside. That's textbook just play right there. You see a play outside, force them into where the players will be at.
3rd and 2 from the Westside 17. Highland in the red zone now. 2 yards for a fresh new set of downs. Looking to score on this drive here.
And really taking their time to get a play, they might have to waste the timeout. Play clock's at 5 seconds.
Shotgun formation. He's going to hand it off to his running back up the middle. He's still on his feet. Spins away from one. He's going to drag him. And we're going to wait the referee's signal here. And they're going to say he was stopped short right on the goal line. And they're going to run the hurry-up offense here. So 1st and goal after the run. They're going to hand it off once again. And that time, he will get in. Touchdown, Highland Rebels.
And he got marked down as close as you could to the end zone. I mean, he was right there. And then, you know, Highland knew they were knocking on the door. Just hurry up offense, give it to your running back, easy score.
8:18 left to go in the first quarter of play. Highland takes the lead early as we await the PAT. The kick is up, and the kick was bobbled. The snap was bobbled. And Westside was able to disrupt it before anything drastic happened. So with, again, 8:18 left to go in the first quarter of play, Highland up 6-0. You're watching Friday Night Light presentation here on ASU-TV and Ritter Communications.
At Ritter Communications, doing right by you is being right where you need us to be. Our technicians are on call, on the road, and on the go, ready and equipped to put our service pledge into action. Storm damage, power lines, or in-home service interruptions. Getting right on it is a big part of being right by you. We go straight to the source to be the source of your internet solutions. Right by you is reliability like no other, only from Ritter Communications.
And welcome back to Friday Night Light presentation here on ASU-TV and Ritter Communications as we have the Westside Warriors playing in their final home game of the 2024 season against the Highland Rebels. Of course, we missed the previous drive. Highland able to get into the end zone early with 8:18 left to go in the first quarter. Again, I'm Tristan Harlan here with Cooper Melder. And Cooper, walk me through that last Highland drive.
Yeah, Highland, they kept it simple. Back to what I was saying after that play, they just really kept it simple. They didn't do anything fancy. Started the drive off with the run, had a couple big pass plays, and then, but the story was the run game in the backfield. They're not doing anything too fancy. It's just shotgun. You have a running back to your left or right, handing the ball off. He follows his blocks, and they did that 3 times and got into the end zone.
1st and 10 from the 29-yard line. Westside with the ball now. Try to get Highland to jump offside, but the referee didn't blow the play dead. That time able to gain a lot of yards on that run. I believe it's going to be maybe just short of the first down marker.
Good response to an offense that was really struggling the first drive of the game. I don't think they got really any positive yards besides the penalty. So that's good to see after struggling to get about 9 yards.
2nd and 2 from the 37-yard line. Westside's quarterback going to keep it himself, and he's wrangled back down to the line of scrimmage. I'm not sure he gained anything there, or if they're going to say he may have got enough.
Yeah, they're going to call him right where the ball was spotted initially, and that's where we come in maybe if he's not fully turning around, he's able to pick up that hole a lot quicker, because when he turns around, the play's already going.
Definitely a key to watch out for the remainder of this one. Hand off to the running back, great blocks, and he's going to lower his helmet, and he's going to have enough for a Westside Warrior first down.
And I get what they're trying to do with the spin. They're trying to spin, turn away to kind of fake the defense out, not being able to see where the quarterback's handing the ball off. But when your most success is coming from the quarterback and his running ability, when he's turning back around on the quarterback keeper, the play's already developed.
Right. Fresh new set of downs here for the Warriors. They're going to hand it off once again around the right side. Tailback's going to gain approximately 4 or 5 yards on the carry. Second down upcoming for the Warriors offense.
And really for Westside right now, they're really thriving with going towards the outside. They tried to get the quarterback going. Didn't work. Now they're just going back to the running backs.
2nd and 5 from the 46. Hand off on the inside, and he's going to get past the 50, so it's going to be the first time Westside enters Highland territory for tonight's game. And they're going to say you got enough for the first down.
And a good old announcer jinx saying the quarterback couldn't get going, and what does he do? Break about 7 yards for a first down.
Well, if the jinx is going to happen to anybody, it's going to happen to one of us.
Yes.
6 minutes remaining in the first quarter of play. Highland still up 6-0. Of course, Westside entering Highland territory for the first time this evening, where they have it at the 48. Quarterback going to get a little push there from his offensive line, and he's going to gain a couple.
And Westside really starting a nice drive here. They're being smart. They haven't had any penalties. They're holding on to the football, doing what they need to do to succeed.
Approaching the 5-minute mark left to go in the first quarter. Westside trying to put a drive together as they inch further and further in Highland territory. Another quarterback keeper. Just for a handful of yards. Brings up a third down.
Westside really in 4-down territory now. So if they don't get it here, I do expect them to go for it.
Third and 4. Ball on Highland's 42-yard line. Clock's ticking away. 4:40 left to go in the first quarter of play.
And this is something we've really seen with Westside. This first quarter, they get down right off the bat, but then they chew clock.
And they caught Highland jumping offsides again. It's going to be the offensive lineman, number 65. I believe due to the penalty, it's going to be enough for a Westside first down. So, again, Highland with some early mistakes, and Westside's trying to make them pay on this first drive here.
And Westside just keeping it simple. They get up to the line. The quarterback says go to let them know to get set, and it's causing confusion.
Hand it off to the tailback, and he's going to get wrestled down. Quick play there, and that's actually number 1, Keegan Statler, on the tackle. Was able to blow it up from that left side there.
And first big negative play for the Warriors this drive.
So after the blown up play, it'll be 2nd and 11 from the Highland 38. Hand off to the tailback once again around the left side. He's going to fight for extra yardage, and he's going to gain a handful, bringing up a third down for the Warriors.
And Westside having a lot of movement in the backfield is really confusing the Rebels right now. You know, their D-line, it's almost like they're trying to look to see who has the ball instead of just attacking into the backfield.
So this brings up a 3rd and 5 from Highland's 31-yard line. Of course, Westside still probably in 4-down territory here. The snap, and he's going to fumble the snap, but he's going to regain possession of the football, but it allows the Highland Rebels to blow up the play, and it brings Westside back with a 4th and approximately a country mile.
Yeah, 4th and 6, but like I said, they are in 4-down territory, and they're subbing in 2 of the guys that were out there during the last pass play attempt, so I do expect them to go with at least 2 wide receiver.
4th and 6 from the 32-yard line. Time winding down the first quarter, just with 2.5 minutes remaining in the first quarter. 2 receivers at the bottom of your screen. They're going to run that receiver screen again, and this time he catches it, but Highland's going to be able to stop him, so it's going to be
close.
I was going to say, the referee's standing right before that marker. We're going to see where they mark him. One member of the chain gang saying it's a first, and they're going to bring out the chain.
And they're looking down the line to see if they can get a... Westside thought they got the first down. They're ready to go run a play.
I was going to say, because they got on the ball, and I thought they gave it to him, but they're going to bring out the chain gang here. So it's going to be a monstrosities call either way. And they're going to have enough for the first down. So Westside is going to have a little bit of momentum on their side now. Of course, momentum typically turns into points.
Westside keeping the 2 wide receivers.
1st and 10 from the 32-yard line. Hand it off around the left side, and he's going to fight for a little bit of yardage, and a flag's going to come out after the play.
Normally a flag at the end of the play is always a late hit.
Face mask called against the Rebels.
Or it was during the play, so it's a face mask.
McCoy face mask, so they're going to move the ball up even more now.
5-yard mark off.
So face mask is a 5-yard penalty in high school?
I always knew it was a 15, but hey.
Yeah, either way, I always knew that as 15, but I guess you learn more every day.
The clock will continue running now, under 2 minutes. Quarterback going to keep himself up the middle. Not able to get much of anything there.
And Westside doing what they have to this drive, forcing Highland to commit penalties, giving them extra yards, and then coming up big when they needed to. Just textbook what you wanted to see from this Westside offense all season long.
Right. So here we go, 2nd and 4 from the Highland 19. A minute 15 left to go in the first quarter of play. Back's going to have it around the right side, and a flag's going to come out in the area of the backfield. I was going to say it's usually typically in the area of holding where that penalty is called, and so it'll be the first penalty on Westside as they're going to move the ball back.
So they're going to redo 2nd down, and instead of 2nd and 4, it'll be 2nd and 9. Minute 13 to go, Tristan.
Look at that. Good analysis there, Parker.
Thank you.
Now, I got to ask, we've been talking about the spin move of the quarterback all night, but do you try to catch Highland off guard with a pass here? Play action a little bit?
I'd be down for it.
Under a minute to go in the first quarter of play. Receiver's going to go in motion. They're going to call for the snap. Quarterback's going to drop back, and he's going to throw it. Highland dove. One of the Highland defenders dove for it, but they're going to rule it incomplete. 3rd down upcoming.
So they motion the running back in towards the left to make him become a eligible wide receiver. Used him as a decoy, hoping the tight end could get out there. Just couldn't find the mark.
So 3rd and 14 now. We're going to hand it off once again around the left side. He's going to get brought down, not able to go anywhere. So another 4th down's coming up for Westside, but this time it's a little longer than they expected it to be.
I don't know if it can get any shorter than it is, though, Tristan.
I mean, you got to go back on this drive and really look what they've ran in the last 5 plays.
Oh, wait. I saw that pile. Don't worry about me.
It's okay. It's cold. The brain's not working like it usually is. It's gonna warm up. Cooper's brain's like an old diesel.
Highland's gonna call a timeout.
Look at that.
Call for the Rebels.
So we're gonna take a step away with 14 seconds left to go in the first quarter of play. Highland's still up 6-0, but Westside's driving on them. You're watching Friday Night Lights right here on Ritter Communications and ASU-TV.
ASU-TV, shows like Red Wolf Roundtable, ASU-TV News, Westside Football, and more. Gain real-life experience while doing what you love. Get involved with ASU-TV today.
And welcome back to Warriors Stadium, home of Westside's high school football team, where we bring you action with 14 seconds left to go in the first quarter of play. 4th down is where we bring you. Westside.
They're going for a field goal.
They're going to elect to kick a field goal. We haven't seen this all season. Going to be a...
Watch. This is going to be a really good... I'm not good with yardage.
I was going to say, is this about a 30-something yard field goal? Roughly. And that almost got blocked. And that one's going to sail off the mark. No good.
Questionable, I mean,
walk me through that. Walk me through that.
Yeah, I mean, they had to see something in practice this week for them to decide, you know what? I trust my kicker to go out there and, maybe if you're lined up on the 20-yard line, for high school, that's a long field goal. I mean, he was short. I like the attempt, but, would almost like to see them a little bit closer before going.
Right, and Highland also got back there, and they probably, I couldn't tell if they got a hand on it, but they were pretty close if not. So 1st and 10 after the missed field goal. Quarterback's going to drop back. Pressure coming. He's going to step up in the pocket, keep it himself. A flag's going to come out. And they're going to call holding on the Rebels.
I'll back them up 10 yards.
So after the penalty, we're likely going to get one final play from the first quarter before we'll move on to the second. So it'll be 1st and 20 yards from their own 26.
I think that is going to be the last play.
I was going to say, I was watching the clock, and it's going to continuously run. So that's going to be how the first quarter ends, with Highland on top early, 6-0. We're going to take a step away. We'll be right back with the second quarter of action for Friday Night Lights presentation between Highland and Westside here on ASU-TV and Ritter Communications.
I think one of the things I learned at Arkansas State was life is 10% of what happens to you, 90% of how you respond to it, and that's just something that I live by.
A-State is home, and they're going to treat you like you're a part of the family.
Most of us are in touch with the internet in one way or another all day long. A fast, secure connection matters. It keeps us entertained, informed, in touch. Ritter Communications cares about your connection. We know strong, reliable internet with your choice of speeds makes life better. To learn more about our internet and Wi-Fi choices, call or visit rittercommunications.com.
And welcome to the beginning of the second quarter from Westside Warriors Stadium. Tristan Harlan here with Cooper Melder as we're bringing you Highland versus Westside. And the start of the second quarter is going to be just like how the first ended, with Highland absolutely running on the Westside defense.
Good chunk of yardage picked up on that run play after the holding call backed them up 10 yards. Got it all back plus more.
32-yard line.
And they're going to get Westside to jump off sides there. A little payback from previous penalties so far in this one by the Westside offense committed by the Highland defense. So Cooper, real quick, walk me through that first quarter for both teams.
Westside received the kickoff, went 3 and out quickly. Highland gets the ball.
And that play is going to be blown dead.
I guess everybody wasn't ready to play just yet. But now we are ready to play. But like I said, Westside 3 and out. Highland drives downfield, scores, and then Westside actually had a good drive, and they just couldn't convert the kick at the end of the drive.
Highland's going to have a running back still on his feet. One man to beat. He's off the sideline before he's forced out of bounds. This shy of the 20-yard line. That's Keegan Statler on the tremendous carry.
And the Rebels really figuring out what's working for them right now, and that's the run game. They're just handing it off to Keegan and letting them do the rest.
So 1st and 10 from approximately the 36-yard line. Quarterback's going to zip it out to the sideline. He's going to juke left, still on his feet, one man to beat, and he's going to get in for the Highland Rebel touchdown.
And just too easy there. Made a defender miss. Had a great block downfield. Easy touchdown for the Rebels.
I believe that was number 5, Nate Huckabee, on the catch and score. Just caught it on the sideline, able to juke left to shake and bake the defender and punch it in. As now Highland has a 12-0 lead, as I'm sure they're going to try to go for 2 to ensure a 14-0 lead. Well, man, the back for quarterback going to keep it himself, but he's going to pitch it back. And that play's not going to get much of anything there, but just a dead play. So with 11:18 left to go here in the first half of play, Westside down 12-0 against Highland. You're watching Friday Night Light presentation here on ASU-TV and Ritter Communications.
Students should watch ASU-TV just to see the creativity that a college student can get. The creativity that some of these students have is truly amazing. Getting that experience can really just take you further, and I feel like our program does that for a lot of students.
And welcome back to Friday Night Light presentation here on ASU-TV and Ritter Communications. Tristan Harlan here with my broadcast partner for this evening, Cooper Melder, as we bring you Highland versus Westside, as this is Westside's final home game of the 2024 campaign, as they are down early 12-0.
And, you know, going back to that 2-point conversion failed attempt by the Rebels there, I feel like the quarterback would have had the 2 points if he would have just kept running instead of throwing it back.
Kickoff's going to be returnable by Westside, and he's going to get taken down. So it's going to bring out the Westside offense. And, of course, Cooper, we've talked a little bit about the offense and how they spin when they snap the ball, but what's it going to take for them to not to stall out on 3rd down?
You know what really hurt them that last drive was their one holding penalty, and after that they just could not recover from going from 1st and 10 to 1st and 20.
So it'll be 1st and 10 from their own 24-yard line. 11:13 left to go here in the first half of play. Low snap, quarterback going to hand it off. He's still going to be on his feet fighting for extra yardage. I believe that's Caden Purvis on the carry.
Hey, Purvis.
He's going to be right near the first down marker.
So another one where they're going to, they're going to give it to him. So it's going to be a fresh new set of downs here for the Westside Warriors. Westside has not had trouble moving the ball in the past 2 drives. Mark's going to keep himself that time. He's just going to be wrapped up by the leg and not able to go anywhere. So again, another little announcer jinx, and that time the play just got blown up.
Yeah, the spin, and that's where turning his back to the defense really hurt him there.
2nd and 12 from their own 32-yard line. Westside down 2 scores. Approaching the 10-minute mark here in the second quarter. Hand it off on the right side, still on his feet, has one man to beat, gonna break a couple tackles before he's wrapped up by a host of white jerseys, but that's gonna move down the chains for the Westside Warriors.
Yeah, and Westside, their last drive and this drive so far, they've been really good drives. I mean, they're keeping their blocks. They're not letting Highland really penetrate into the backfield.
1st and 10 from their own 44-yard line. Purvis trying to spin away from a tackle, but he's going to get wrapped up by 3 different rowdy Rebels. It's going to be a 2nd down here.
And if you're Westside, you've given up 2 scores, but you've been lucky that, 1, they bobbled the field goal snap, and then 2, you held them to not converting the 2-point conversion. So if you score here, you're only down by 5.
Quarterback's going to throw another quick receiver screen. That time, Highland was prepared for it, bringing up another 3rd down for the Westside Warriors.
And so now, after you've thrown the screen play at least 3 times now. So what you do is now you can set up the little fake go route. You fake the screen, and then you go deep because they're going to be biting on it. That's when you pump fake, have them bite, and you have someone going downfield.
3rd and 7 from their own 47. A little over 20 seconds remaining. 8 minutes and 17 seconds left to go in the first half of play. And they're going to have Purvis around the outside before 2 different Highland defenders bring him down very hard. Good sign of sportsmanship there, helping Purvis up after the tackle. So brings up another 4th down. And Coach, I'm going to ask you going for it here?
4th and 6. I mean, you went for it last time with the screenplay, but Highlands really figured the screenplay out. I mean, you got nothing to lose. Might as well.
4th and 6. Try to draw him off sides there. They're trying to get him to jump. Likely don't have a play call here, just trying to get somebody to jump. The timeout's going to be called by Coach Engel. And, of course, we've seen that time and time again by Coach Engel and the Westside Warriors trying to jump somebody off sides.
Yeah, and with how quick they get to the line, I almost feel like if you're going to try to get them to jump off sides and they don't, you have enough time to bring your punt unit out and save a timeout. Now, if they're going to go for it and they're going to draw up a play here, you have to think, okay, why didn't you come out there, say, all right, the first 3 are going to be try to get them to jump off sides, and after that, have a signal to your players, all right, now let's run the play. Just so you can save timeouts, because you never know when you're going to need them.
So here comes Westside trotting back on to the gridiron. 4th and 6 from their own 48-yard line. Nobody back deep to field a punt if they choose to kick it here. Quarterback's going to drop back, throws it off his back foot, and that one's going to be batted down by Cole Boyer. So another turnover on downs brings the Highland offense back out to the field with great field position.
And you call a timeout and draw up that play. I just don't really like it, because even if that pass was completed, it was nowhere near the first down line. If it's fourth down and long, you have to be going towards the first down area. I mean, yes, he didn't have enough time for really the play develop, but you still have to take a shot.
Back, throw a quick little out route to the sideline. Room to run before he's forced out of bounds. That's Wade Monroe on the catch and carry. Purvis was the Warrior credited with forcing him out of bounds, so fresh new set of downs here for the Rebels.
And when they do throw those wide receiver screens, I would almost like for him to run towards the ball so he could have blockers set up for him for Westside, instead of just standing there and hoping that the other wide receiver one-on-one can make a block.
First and 10 here, quarterback going to drop back. Pressure coming, has all the time in the world, throws it over the middle. That's going to be a lightning bolt, and that's going to be caught still on his feet. Evades one tackler before he's brought down. No, he's still going to be on his feet. He's still going, and that's going to be another Highland touchdown. What a play!
Wow, I mean, great pass, but even better catch and run. I mean, there's 3 times I thought he was going down. I thought he was going to go down, and he didn't get brought down. But it also could be due to the poor tackling.
I believe that Statler was the receiver who caught that and made the elusive run, so with 6:41 left to go in the first half, Highland with a commanding 18-0 lead.
And Highland is chasing points now, going to be going for 2.
Quarterback's going to roll out, has room to run, and he's going to get in. So they're going to give it to him. So with 6:41 left to go in the first half, Highland up 20-0. We're going to take a step away. You're watching Friday Night Lights here on ASU-TV and Ritter Communications.
Around here, we like a slower pace, but we don't suffer with slow internet. Ritter Communications provides high-speed, reliable internet and Wi-Fi backed by local customer service. From email checkers to video streamers to hardcore gamers, we've got speed options to please all kinds of folks. If you need an upgrade or just have a question, get in touch. We can't wait to help. Ritter Communications, the right internet connection, right by you.
And welcome back to Friday Night Light coverage here on ASU-TV and Ritter Communications. With 6:41 left to go in the first half, Tristan Harlan here with my broadcast partner Cooper Melder, and we've got a one-sided affair for the final home game of Westside's 2024 campaign.
And that's really almost feel like been the common theme of every game for Westside, a one-sided affair, and it's never been on Westside.
Kickoff's going to be returnable. He's going to field it about the 15. Tried to run over one defender, but he got tripped up. So once again, here comes the Westside offense. They've had opportunities where they've been driving just a little bit, but they get a third down, which brings up fourth down, and it seems like they've gone for it, and I don't think they may have gotten one since.
Yeah, they've gotten one on their big drive that ended in a missed field goal, but since then they haven't been able to convert on fourth down.
It's going to be 1st and 10 from about the 29-yard line. Hand it off here. Around the right side, a flag is going to come out in the backfield. And they're going to call holding. So that's going to move the Warriors back.
With Westside's offense and their style, you cannot afford to have any penalties, because this is not an offense that really relies on big plays like you see with teams in the spread. They rely on getting just, chunk yardage, 3, 4, 5 yards. They're not relying on getting 10, 15 yards every play.
So after the holding penalty, it'll be 1st and 20. From just shy of the 20, I think they spotted him at the 19. And that play is not going to go anywhere. 6 minutes remaining in the second quarter of play.
With the passing that you've done during pregame, this is when you need to start going into the passing playbook. There might not be a bunch of plays from what we've seen, but you're going to have to start digging into it.
So 2nd and 19, 5:30 left to go here in the first half of play. Everybody's going to drop back, and that's going to get batted down. And that was almost a break that Highland wanted.
Try to go with the wide receiver screen play again. And like I was saying earlier, Highland has figured it out. I mean, you see it happen. Once you see the wide receiver just stop and kind of take the break, they know what's coming. That's why you have to have a play where you fake it and have a dude going streaking downfield.
Well, this is one of the few times we've seen only one man in the backfield for Westside all season. Throws it off his back foot, and that's going to be intercepted. That was about as obvious as Mount Everest, and that's going to be a pick 6. Highland's going to get in for another touchdown. I mean, Cooper, I want you to break that down. Playing defensive back in high school and throughout your high school career, what does that look like when you're on the field?
So you're taught if they're a man, you're watching receiver, and you watch your receiver, but you're also quick glances into the backfield, and he was staring down the receiver. Safety saw it from a mile away, broke on the ball right to him. Just easy textbook coverage.
So we await the PAT selection from Highland, whether it's a 2 or they try to kick it in for 1.
They're trying to get back to the even.
Keep himself as he's going to be
no good.
No good. So with 5:17 left to go here in the first half, Highland leads it 26-0. We're going to take a step away here. You're watching Friday Night Lights coverage here on ASU-TV and Ritter Communications.
Here to deliver the latest news on A-State sports, ranging from football, basketball, baseball, and more.
I'm your host, Tristan Harlan, alongside your other host, Cooper Melder.
Red Wolf Roundtable is your local sports source.
Tune in to Red Wolf Roundtable to get your fix on sports talk and news.
And welcome back to Friday Night Light coverage here from Warrior Stadium as the Highland Rebels go on the road to take on Westside in their final home game of the 2024 campaign. And Cooper, I think we got a little bit of halftime entertainment coming up tonight.
We do, Tristan. So, Arkansas State coming off a big win last Saturday. They're on a bye week. And with basketball season just right around the corner, we may or may not have a special guest during halftime from our Red Wolf Roundtable show.
Be sure to make sure you tune into that as that kick is up. It's going to be returnable. He tries to hurdle a group of defenders, and he's going to get brought down. So 5:12 left to go in the first half. Westside offense will trot back out on the field. Of course, we've been mentioning the passing schemes that Coach Engel tried to implement in the offseason. It's taken all season to see it here at home, and they tried to run it a couple times, incomplete, batted down, and they threw it a third time, and as you like to call it, it was just textbook coverage.
Yeah, it was, and it's almost getting to the point where with these calls, it's Westside's getting desperate here.
Everybody's going to drop back. That one's going to be caught. Going to gain a few. 5 minutes left to go here in the first half.
I'm waiting for it. I am hoping he has a fake screen and go in that playbook.
Too bad we don't have a camera in here that we could show your reaction to when they eventually do call that play. 2nd and 8 from their own 43-yard line. 4:30 left to go in the first half of play. Drops back, pressure coming around the right side. He's going to throw a deep pass. 3-on-1, and that's going to be incomplete. 3rd down coming up.
You know what? I like it. Take the shot downfield. You haven't taken a shot downfield at all game, and you finally do now. The only problem with taking that shot and their passing offense is you only had one guy going downfield, and when you have 2 high safeties and nobody else to worry about, that's easy double coverage.
On that play, it was triple coverage, but regardless, it brings up a 3rd down for the Westside offense. And, of course, you know, you mentioned it earlier, partner, and the desperation level rising for this offense. And again, another busted play where Highland was able to get in the backfield, and now we have Westside faced with another 4th down in their own territory with 4 minutes left to go in the first half.
And yeah, bringing out the punt unit here, smart idea.
Fourth and 9, their own 42-yard line. Westside's going to elect the punt here. Low snap. High punt. Now it's just going to go right out of bounds near the 30-yard marker. So, I mean, here comes the Highland offense, and I mean, partner, what more can you say about them? I mean, they've been running efficiently all night long.
And it's not even just the running back that's able to get things going. It's been also in the passing game. They're just able to get into open field, make defenders miss, and even when you think they're going down, they're able to break away from tackles and keep pushing on forward.
So they're going to take over on their own 31-yard line. Two receivers on the bottom of your screen. Quarterback's going to drop back. Pressure coming. He's going to throw it, and the receiver's just going to drop it. That's Nate Huckabee on the drop.
And if he would have caught that, there was not a defender in sight for, like you said, a good country mile.
Hey, man. We all love our country miles. Again, want to take a moment to give special thanks to our technical director / producer tonight, Mr. Dustin Sullivan, instructor at Arkansas State University in the Creative Media Production School of Media and Journalism. If you have anybody or you are listening that you are interested in doing what Cooper and I do, make sure to reach out to Mr. Sullivan via astate.edu.
Good little shout out there.
Hey, we love Mr. Sullivan. He does a lot for us.
We do. And we're both really old seniors now.
Third and 2, 3 minutes left to go here in the first half of play. The handoff here around the left side. Great lead blocking there. He's going to have room to run on the sideline. And that's going to be more than enough for another Highland first down. Now, and I'm going to steal your thunder a little bit here, partner. I want to shout out number 66, Aiden Gardner, on that play. That big boy was running, and he was setting lead blocks for everybody in sight. That is what an offensive lineman is supposed to do.
You know, and I like the patient running from Keegan Sattler there.
He's going to drop back. He's going to throw it to the sideline. It's going to be caught. Be forced out there.
But what I was saying, I like the patient running from Keegan Sattler on that play. Just let the big man who was pulling across work for him, stood behind him, just followed the blocker like you should as a running back, and got a ton of yards on that play.
Huckabee was the receiver who caught that last pass. It'll be 2nd and 10. They're going to change the play at the line. We're just going to drop back, pump fakes once, throws it. It's going to be caught on the right side. He's going to get brought down. Well, that's Wade Monroe on the catch.
And Highland just marching down the field right now. Their home crowd's feeling it right now.
Well, they did travel well.
They do.
1st and 10, ball on the 15. He's going to throw it, dump it out to his running back. Has room to run, has a couple blocks he needs to get, and he'll get brought down shy of the goal line. So that'll most likely set up a 1st and goal scenario.
Yeah, just tackled about the 3-4 yard line area. And Highland once again knocking on the door of Westside, trying to punch it in.
2 minutes remaining here in the first half of play. Quarterback going to keep it himself, fights for it. I'm going to say.
Got 2 yards. That's going to be it. And if you're Highland, you score here, Westside comes out, gets the ball. Do you waste your timeouts to try to score one more time before halftime?
Hey, you're the analyst here.
The only reason I would do that, it's up 35 at halftime or up 35 in the second half where running clock gets in place. Well, even if you get the 2-point conversion, it'll only be 34.
Gracie's going to bobble the snap. He's going to juke left, and he's going to dive for the end zone, and he's going to get in. Another Highland Rebel touchdown.
And, you know, just make it something out of nothing. It was basically a busted play. Made 2 defenders miss with a nice little juke move, and then dove in for the easy score.
We're going to quote the legendary ESPN Sports Center guy, Chris Berman. Quarterback just went whoop, whoop. Hit a little juke move with whoop. I know there's somebody out there that appreciated that.
I hope so.
Mr. Sullivan did.
Slap hands.
Slap hands. We go for the 2. Christie's going to roll out and throw it to his receiver. That's going to be caught for the 2-point conversion. That's number 15, Zach Huckabee. So with a minute 12 left to go here in the first half of play, Highland leading 34-0. We're going to take a step away. You're watching Friday Night Lights, presented to you by ASU-TV and Ritter Communications. And we're going to actually stay here. Thought we were going to get a break, but hey, trick plays are pulled even in the control room, ladies and gentlemen. So walk me through that last drive, partner.
I mean, it was just textbook play calling, and they ran it to perfection. Pretty simple. You follow the blockers well. You make defenders miss. I mean, Highland's doing nothing fancy. That's the thing. They're not doing anything fancy, but what they're doing it to quote-unquote perfection. They're buying in. They're doing what they need to do, and that's why they're up 34-0.
Right. Do want to take a second to remind everybody that at halftime, Cooper and I on our show Red Wolf Roundtable will have an exclusive sit-down interview with Arkansas State head women's basketball coach Destiny Rogers on what she expects from her team in the 2024-2025 campaign.
Good open field tackle from the Rebels there. You know, that's something not too many people appreciate. Open field tackling when it's one-on-one. The defender, really, as a defender, you're kind of put in a bad decision one-on-one. You don't know where you're going. The offensive guy or the return man is going to try to make you miss or just try to run you over. But when they make a move and you stay home, stay square in the hips, and you just tackle, get a tackle, it just excites me.
And that play was blown up there. And I got to ask you, partner, which one do you like more? A good open field tackle, textbook coverage, or the dead tee?
You can't do that to me.
I'm giving you the hard questions, though, partner.
You can't. I'd have to say good open field tackle with a little secondary background for me.
Under a minute now left to go here in the first half of play.
Because good open field tackle leads to good textbook coverage, buddy.
Now that one I did not expect to hear out of you. Going to hand it off around the right side here, still on his feet. He's going to get wrapped up here. Under 20 seconds left to go now in the first half. Again, want to take a second to remind you that at halftime, Cooper and myself will have an exclusive sit-down interview with head coach for Arkansas State's women's basketball team, Destiny Rogers. Make sure to stick around for that.
And I think Westside is going to have one more play left in them.
3rd and 10 from their 19. Clock will begin to wind down here. They're going to keep it himself, and he's still going to be on his feet. But that is going to be how the first half will come to an end. They were waiting to blow the play dead before the progression was stopped. So at halftime, your score, Highland 34, Jonesboro, Westside 0. We're going to take a step away. When we come back, you'll have the exclusive interview with head coach of Arkansas State's women's basketball, Destiny Rogers. Welcome back to Red Wolf Roundtable here on ASU-TV and Now. Of course, I mentioned last week we may have a special guest on this week, and Coach Destiny Rogers has returned back to Red Wolf Roundtable. We didn't scare her off last time, Coach. How you doing?
I had a great time last time I was here. I'm happy to be back.
So, of course, we know the season's just right around the corner. You guys are fixing to take the road to play Western Michigan, you guys' first regular season game. But I got to ask, how's the offseason been, and how's kind of everything been up to this point?
Yeah, the offseason has been really good. We obviously brought in 9 new players to go along with the 3 that returned. So just to see a team gel as quickly as this team has gelled just in the summer, we knew that we wanted to do some things differently. So we've completely changed up our offense and we've completely changed up our defense. So we hit the ground running on day 1. And I was surprised to see how quickly the girls bought into it and how quickly they were able to recognize the pace at which we want to play. And so it's been really, really good so far.
Right. So what are some of your expectations for this season?
Yeah, the biggest thing for me is I just want us to take it game by game. I think my first 2 years as the head coach here, I talked a lot about outcomes and expectations for a team, and I'm trying not to do that this year. For us, it's been about the process. So focusing on the process of what it takes to get to the outcomes that you desire. So, every day, what can we do to be better? So, we play Monday, and while, yes, we're referencing our first game, we're still talking about, hey, what can we do today to be better than we were yesterday? And I just believe that that's been working for us, and we're going to kind of stick to that this season.
And like you mentioned, Coach, you brought in 9 new players. Has it been challenging for you and as the staff as a whole to get, you said they came together quick, but was it challenging at first to get this team to really gel together and, get the chemistry? Because you can have chemistry in practice, but it's completely different having chemistry on a court in a game.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that, when I sit here and I tell you guys that we have chemistry with our team right now, with it being a new team, it's like, how is that possible? But the truth is they really do, and I think that goes down to they hang out a lot outside of basketball. So they do movie nights, they go out to eat, they they do all kind of stuff together outside of basketball, and so that shows up on the court for them as well. So, I haven't been around a team that's gelled this quickly chemistry-wise. We've been able to play 2 scrimmages before our first game, and it's been really good. Just seeing them, kind of come together and play together. This is a situation where when you see us play, it's gonna look more like a team. Like there's not 1 or 2 players that we depend on everybody. So right now, we have 11 that can play, and we play all 11 at this point. So you're gonna see it feel more like like team ball than it will be individual play.
Right. So what maybe went into retooling the offense in the offseason, as well as maybe just because of how the morale was when the season ended last year? Yeah.
We always wanted to play the way that we're going to play this year. We just didn't have the personnel to do that. So we knew at the end of the season we had to fix it. And so the only way to fix it is to reconstruct your whole roster. We lost some, and then some, was a mutual thing. So we decided to go out and find players that can play the way we want them to play. So what does that mean? We need athletes that can score on all 3 levels. So they can shoot the 3, they can get to the rim, they can pass it, they can do everything that we need them to do. But then defensively, we press now. So that's going to be new for a lot of people. We press for 40 minutes. Whether you make it or you miss it, we're up in our press. And one of our scrimmages, we turned the team over 43 times. So we're going to try to turn people over as much as possible to try to create offense for ourselves.
And so with the preseason rankings, when it came out, it had y'all projected as 13th.
Mm-hmm.
How have y'all been able to use that as motivation to go out there and prove everybody wrong?
Honestly, we don't. To me, the preseason rankings is an opinion of a group of coaches, and we don't care about people's opinions. So I understand why we were picked 13th, because we have a brand new team and no one knows the capabilities of this team. And at this point, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with nobody knowing right now. But I do believe that soon you'll see that this team is special, and I really think that this team could be good.
Right. So what does it mean to you, of course, because not a lot of coaches can lose almost 95% of the roster and completely turn it around the next year, the next season. So what does that mean to you as a coach, being with your background in basketball, being able to not only find this new roster, but still be able to put a competent and competitive roster on the floor?
Well, I got to use my faith in this. I think that this year is going to be a testament to what God can do. And so there were moments this spring where it was frustrating, because you are reconstructing the team and you want to make sure you do it right. But I just had a strong belief that things were going to work out. And I truly believe now that we have this team here and we've been through practices and we've been through 2 scrimmages, that this is the team that was supposed to be here. Things worked out the way it was supposed to. And so I think that, this season you'll get to truly see that. Was it easy? Absolutely not. It's hard to put together a new team and have all the visits that we had to have and try to convince people to come be a part of your program when maybe it looked like, on the outside looking in, maybe it looks like it was falling apart. I don't think that it was falling apart. I think that this is just the beginning of something fresh and something new, and also something special.
And with this being your 3rd season as head coach for Arkansas State, which ways have you seen women's basketball here at Arkansas State pretty much evolve?
Yeah, the crowd support is always amazing. The first 2 years, we didn't win the way we want to win, but I always go back to last year, and I truly believe that if our best player doesn't break her finger when she breaks it, I think that we finish a lot stronger than we finished. But you can't control injuries. It is what it is. But for this team moving forward, I believe in what we do with all my heart. When you see us play, you're going to say, what in the world is going on? Because we don't look anything like what we looked. And sometimes it can look a little unorthodox and fast and all over the place. But there is a rhyme or reason to what we're doing. We're trying to make people uncomfortable and speed them up. And then offensively, sometimes we take some quick shots and we shoot a lot of threes and a lot of layups and threes. So I think it'll be fun to watch. And, the biggest thing is when people come to see us play, they're going to think that, we have just completely changed everything we did, which we have, but this is the way we always want to play. We just didn't have the personnel to do it.
Right. So, of course, last season you mentioned briefly just about what the offense was and your best player breaking her finger, but you guys were still scoring about 66 points a game. So is the offensive production something you've tried to ramp up in the offseason? Of course, I remember last year Anna was really reliant from the corner. Winter was really reliant inside. So it's just there been that conversation that, like, hey, I need everybody playing. I need everybody scoring, not just two or maybe even three people.
Yeah, the biggest issue that we had with last year's team was a lack of depth. And so we knew that we needed to address that, and so we addressed that with the portal. So we have a lot of kids that chose to come here for their last year. And when we look at, our stats from our first two scrimmages, we had 3 people in double-digit scoring in both games. I truly believe we could get it to 4 or 5 in double digits because we have so many possessions. So to kind of break that down for you, in our second scrimmage, we had 88 possessions on offense. So when you have that many possessions on offense, if you're taking the right shots and you're getting good looks, then you can end up having somewhere between 3 to 5 in double-digit scoring. And that's the big thing for us because we didn't have that last year. So having that depth and just multiple people that you could depend on every night to score for you.
Right. Well, Coach, again, we're super grateful that you came on today to talk about the women's basketball team. Hopefully this is going to be the start of more appearances on the show, of course, as the season goes on, and maybe next time you bring a couple players just to talk with them as well. But real quick, the last thing I have for you is what would it mean for you to come out strong and really just hammer home how much you have improved this team in the offseason?
It would mean a lot for us to get off to a strong start, but I'm not going to put those expectations on myself, and I'm not going to put those expectations on the team. For me, I don't really care what people think about our program. I know that we work hard every single day, and I know that we do things the right way. And I do know and believe that God put this team in place for a reason. So we're going to continue to do what we do every single day, and we're going to continue to show up, and soon you'll see for yourself.
Right. Well, Coach, again, thank you so much. And, guys, we're going to take a short break. When we come back, we'll have more to talk about right here on Red Wolf Roundtable.
I think one of the things I learned at Arkansas State was life is 10% of what happens to you, 90% of how you respond to it, and that's just something that I live by.
A-State is home, and they're going to treat you like you're a part of the family.
ASU-TV, shows like Red Wolf Roundtable, ASU-TV News, Westside Football, and more. Gain real-life experience while doing what you love. Get involved with ASU-TV today.
And welcome back to Red Wolf Roundtable here on ASU TV. And now it's time to shift focus to men's basketball. Now, real quick, I do want to take another second to thank Coach Rogers for coming on the show, talking about the women's basketball team. And, man, I can't wait to see them on the hardwood floor.
I can't wait either. It's going to be a high-intensity team, full court press, and I'm just so excited for basketball season.
Right. So shifting focus now to the men's basketball team. Of course, we mentioned on the show before that they were picked first in the preseason rankings for the Sun Belt Conference. And, we've already talked about, the history behind being elected first in the preseason rankings and going on to win the actual conference tournament. But Cooper, of course, they had an exhibition Saturday, of course, the same day that the Arkansas State football team played Troy against Trevecca Nazarene. Excuse me, got the letters flip-flop there. But, I'll go ahead and be the first one to say it. I wasn't impressed.
No, it was a sloppy win. They ended up winning 78-71, and it was kind of one of those games you're like, all right, we're going to come in here, get to see all the new players, everything like that. And we saw the new players, but it's not the way we wanted to. I think we're shooting 13% from three-point at halftime,
And look, it was just a sloppy win. And with their first home game going to be this upcoming Monday, November 4th, there's a lot of things they need to fix. And we were talking about it, and I was like, I wasn't able to watch the game, and you were, and I was like, was it a team that looked like they had too much talent and just couldn't come together?
No, yeah, and that's exactly what it was. I mean, and don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to discredit the team at all. I mean, I know it's just an exhibition game, so you're not going to see a lot of your star players playing at their highest potential. But, I mean, when you've got a guy like Darian Ford who only made 1 3-pointer and he couldn't really hit anything else, it was kind of cause for concern. Again, it's an exhibition, but when you've got all that talent, you know, you expected the team to score 100 like they did against the team last season in their exhibition. But I mean, look, here's the thing. We saw Josh Hill, the upcoming freshman from Memphis. I think he was a 4 or 5-star recruit coming in to Jonesboro for the Arkansas State Red Wolves. But, I mean, again, he was another one that I just didn't see any sign of explosiveness with. I mean, he took forever to get down the court. He wasn't fighting for rebounds. He wasn't really fighting to put back anything. That was more DeAndre Dominguez's job, was putting back rebounds into layups and making second chance points on the offense. But my question is when they play Akron this Monday at First National Bank Arena, of course, the blackout in their first game for the MAC SBC Challenge, will we see this team start to mesh more together, or is it going to be kind of a Achilles heel that, you know, you and I have talked about early, to where they've got all this talent, but they're not able to mesh well and they're not able to convert on their open looks?
Yeah, it's going to be a very interesting game because Akron actually made the tournament last year, and you're seeing last year's record and stats. Akron went 24-11. Now they averaged about 74 points per game, only gave up 66, shot 45% from the field goal, 32% from the three-point land. And A-State, they like to score, they like to go quick, almost averaging 79. But we did allow 77 shooting, 41% from the field and 34% from the three-point land. And if this team is going to have any success, we're going to need to be shooting almost 36% from three. I mean, they're a good team and they have talent, but the way Coach Hodgson's offense really works, you need to hit the three-point shot.
Right, and that's been the biggest thing that was going to be the gray area for question early on, is that three-point land shot. I mean, of course, you know the term live by the three, die by the three, but that was the kind of the mark of the offense last year. And, you know, and here's the thing, okay? We also got to take this into account. Terrence Ford didn't play in the expedition because of injury. Isaiah Nelson did not play because I believe he has a broken foot. Don't quote me on it, but he had a boot, and I believe that's what his injury was, just overhear him talking about it. But Isaiah Nelson's out for some time. And so you got guys that you've got to rely on, like DeAndre, like Darian, like Avery Phelps, like Josh Hill, like Kobe Julian from Louisiana. And that's another guy. Kobe Julian, he won Sunbelt Player of the Year last year, and he really didn't look impressive. Yeah. I mean, again, first game of the year, you've got you know, some working out to do, some getting used to when it comes to game action. But you know, I'm sure this team will mesh well, and I'm sure they'll fix their mistakes. Coach Hodgson's a very talented coach, very smart coach when it comes to the game of basketball. So I'm sure those areas of concern are just first game jitters or first game, you know, areas of concern that they'll fix as the season goes on. Because, I mean, let's be honest, the only thing that really matters in college basketball is how you perform in conference play.
Yeah, it really does, especially with the Sun Belt, unless, like, we just start the year undefeated, like after the Akron game we go to Bama. But besides that, it's like we were saying last week. There's one thing that separates good coaches from great coaches. Good coaches, they can get a team together, win a couple games. Great coaches, they can get really good players and have them play well together, where they're able to space out the star power, where everybody's scoring, everybody's in double digits. And that's what I'm going to be most interested in seeing with Coach Hodgson. I know last year, you know, it was kind of like players took turns. Who was going to have the big game that game? Was it going to be Caleb Fields? Was it going to be DeAndre? Or was it going to be a De'Aaron Ford game? But this year, there's too much talent where you don't have to have one guy scoring. Everybody needs to be scoring. Like, I would not be mad if the entire starting five were all double digits. And I feel like if we could do that, where everybody's at least almost double-digit scoring, they can be very successful. But it's going to be, you're going to have to realize, especially with Kobe Julian, he was the go-to guy. He's going to have to realize he's on a completely different team, a much more talented team than Louisiana ever will be. And had to throw a shot out there. But he's going to have to realize he's not the go-to guy. He's a great player, but he's going to have to learn how to play team basketball along with everybody else on the team.
Right, and you know, look, and again, this goes back to the whole injury situation. This team right now, for those of you that may not know, they don't have a true point guard on the roster right now that can go out there and can play 20 to 30 minutes a game. You know, Caleb Fields was a true point guard, but now he's playing overseas, and so that's what they're going to need from someone like Zane Butler or Terrence Ford when he gets healthy, or even De'Aaron Ford when, you know, if he gets put in that number one spot. Because, I mean, let's be real. This team, they need a facilitator. They need a guy that's going to go out there, get 5 to 10 assists a game, and going to be able to find guys like Isaiah Nelson on the low block, Josh Hill on the low block, or even DeAndre Dominguez on the wing to where he can knock down 45 to 50% of his field goals from inside, but still be reliant on that corner three that he's proved that he can hit in the past. And again, Kobe Julian is another guy. He has all the talent in the world, but without a true facilitator, you know, he's going to go from 20 points a game last season to only 13 to 14 because he can't run. Let me say something before I say this. I am not saying he cannot play the game of basketball, but what I'm saying is in this offense, with as much talent as he has around him, he cannot run it by himself. He cannot be the number one option. Yes, he can be it on every given night if he wanted to be, but with the way this team is set up, everybody's got to get a piece of their pie. Like, you know, De'Aaron's got to come out and shoot maybe 3 to 4 threes and make 75% of them. Terrence Ford's, when he gets healthy, he's going to want to come out, score inside, shoot the three, facilitate the offense. Isaiah Nelson's going to want at least 10 points from inside with getting 10 rebounds. Josh Hill's the same way. He's going to want to play inside, get at least 12 to 13 rebounds because, you know, he's a great rebounder. But again, without a facilitator, a true facilitator on this offense, you know, we're going to be talking about this team. Yeah, they can score 120 points a game, but without the assist totals there, they're going to get beat almost every week because nobody is there to set up an offense for them.
Yeah, and that's a role that, you know, someone that I would think would honestly, not talking about would be perfect, would be Avery Felts for that role. I know throughout his entire career here at Arkansas State, he's been the guy, you know, you're going to come in, play good on defense, and then we're going to set elevator screens and everything like that for you, and you're going to knock down threes here and there. But I feel like if Avery could, you know, transition his game, be like, look, I have a bunch of talent around me. I've been the guy, really the only guy that's been relied on to make threes. He doesn't have to really worry about being the only guy that can shoot. We have a bunch of good players that can make the three ball now. If he could somehow transition to his game to more of a point guard style where he's a veteran, he knows the offense, he knows what works for the team, and just really, all right, I'm going to bring the ball up court, space it out, set things up, and keep things going. If he could do that, that's when the success can come because Caleb Fields was that veteran on that team that brought them together when they went on that run.
Right, and I think with the exception of Isaiah Nelson and Terrence Ford, correct me if I'm wrong, but Avery Felts is the only player on that roster that still was on the roster when Coach Bellotto was the head coach. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure Avery Felts knows how difficult it was to win games with Mike Bellotto as the head guy. But, I mean, if you got a guy like Avery Felts who can go get you 3 to 5 steals a game, go maybe get a block here and there, if he can run that offense to where, you know, he's getting 2, maybe 6 assists a ball game, you know how much production that offense is going to have just from inside with Isaiah Nelson, DeAndre Dominguez, and Josh Hill. I mean, you're looking at least 60 points there.
Yeah.
And then you add the outside game of Kobe Julian, De'Aaron Ford, or even Avery Felts himself. That adds another, 20 to 40 points there. So the sky's the limit for this team, and I'm hoping that within the practices they got coming up ahead of Monday's contest that they're going to be able to stretch that offense out and really run something to where this team will win the Sun Belt and maybe even make that tournament run.
Most of us are in touch with the internet in one way or another all day long. A fast, secure connection matters. It keeps us entertained, informed, in touch. Ritter Communications cares about your connection. We know strong, reliable internet with your choice of speeds makes life better. To learn more about our internet and Wi-Fi choices, call or visit rittercommunications.com.
I think one of the things I learned at Arkansas State was life is 10% of what happens to you, 90% of how you respond to it, and that's just something that I live by.
A-State is home, and they're going to treat you like you're a part of the family.
And welcome back to Friday Night Light coverage here on ASU-TV and Ritter Communications. We are just awaiting the start of the second half from Warrior Stadium as the Highland Rebels have a commanding lead over the Westside Warriors. Tristan Harlan here with Cooper Melder for the remainder of tonight's ballgame. And Cooper, give a quick synopsis of the first half.
It's been all Highland. I mean, Westside, they had a chance to get some points on the board early in the first, missed the field goal, but after that, it's just been all Highland on the ground, through the air, doing it all. And with Highland receiving the opening kickoff of the second half, it's not what you want for the Westside Warriors.
Of course, I do want to remind everybody that Highland is 1 point away from beginning the mercy rule effect, meaning the clock will continuously run throughout the remainder of the ball game if they get to that 35 marker. I do believe Highland's return man may have touched the ball, but he's going to get able to return it. He's still at the sideline. He has room to run. He has a burst of speed. He's at the 30, the 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. Signs of relief from the Highland sideline. Touchdown for the Rebels.
And that was quick. Highland, they've done it all they've done it all tonight. On offense, through the air, on the ground. Defense, they've been coming up with big stops, playing great. And then the special team finally gets involved. They take it to the house. And then, you know, you're saying they're 1 point away. They decided to get 6.
Hey, the mercy rule effect is now in play. The clock will continuously run throughout the remainder of tonight's ball game.
And that's not the way you wanted to start the second half if you're the Westside Warriors.
Awaiting the PAT here from the Highland Special Teams unit. The kick is up, and the kick is no good. So with 11:05 and running left to go in the third quarter of play, we're going to take another short break. We'll be right back at the start of the kickoff.
Most of us are in touch with the internet in one way or another all day long. A fast, secure connection matters. It keeps us entertained, informed, in touch. Ritter Communications cares about your connection. We know strong, reliable internet with your choice of speeds makes life better. To learn more about our internet and Wi-Fi choices, call or visit rittercommunications.com.
And welcome back to Warrior Stadium as the Highland Rebels have now began the mercy rule effect, meaning the clock will run the remainder of tonight's contest. Now, Cooper, I want to take a second and go back to that kickoff return for Highland. Of course, it was a bobbled return, and he was able to score, so walk me through that.
Yeah, so the return man was having trouble getting the ball off the ground. So normally that allows time for Westside to get downfield and rally and tackle, but that was not the case. He hit the outside, got to the sideline, and quote-unquote sideline speed kicked in, and he just followed his blockers. Highland, they did a great job of blocking. And then, I mean, it was just simple like that. Follow your blocks, hit the open hole. And then, speed kills.
Right. Of course, the kickoff did go out of bounds, so Westside will start their next drive with good possession, good field possession, I should say. They'll take over from their own 35-yard line. That play again, not going anywhere. Westside just failing to get anything going on the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah, and it's just not how you want to open your second half, especially on special teams. For Westside, they really haven't had anybody take one to the house on them yet this year until tonight, at home at least.
2nd and 12, and play's going to be stopped for they go anywhere. And, of course, playoffs are around the corner, ladies and gentlemen, and I want to go ahead and talk about the standings in the conference, and they look like this. Of course, Southside still undefeated. They're at the number 1 spot. Highland, they're number 2, followed by Pocahontas, Blytheville, Gosnell, Cave City, Truman, and then rounding in last place is the Westside Warriors, who have yet to win one conference game all season long.
And it won't come this week, but they do have a shot to win at least one conference game next week.
Another play, just
maybe
not
got
really.
a yard.
Yeah, I mean, Westside, they're doing their best and they're continuously fighting, but they just haven't been able to put not only the winning combination together, but just the positive combination together.
Yeah, that's going to bring the punt unit out, and you're having to think, running clock, you're up 40-0. Do we start seeing, the guys that don't get to normally play for Highland sub in? Or with playoffs being this close, do you want to keep your starters out there? I know you're worried about injury, but do you want to keep your starters out there just so they're getting constant reps and staying warmed up and everything like that?
Of course, on one side of the ball, you have that option to explore because, due to the fact that Westside hasn't won a conference game, I don't believe they'll be making any sort of postseason. And then on the other side of the ball, why wave the white flag now? Keep your guys hot, keep your guys fresh, and, let them play a little bit longer. But then if you want to pull them out with the score being as runaway like that it is, it wouldn't hurt to get your depth some reps.
Yeah. And with it being senior night for Westside, this is the best time to really get seniors that may not get to play much, give them playing time.
Plays around the left side. Of course, another great lead blocked by 66. Guy still on his feet. He's going to be forced out of bounds. That's Keegan Statler on the carry. And then once again, number 66, Aiden Garner, the lead blocker there. We talked about him earlier in tonight's game, and I'm going to talk about him again. That's textbook blocking right there.
I know as a lineman yourself, Tristan, back in your glory days, you love to see a good pull and guard out there being the lead blocker.
Listen, in the game of football, there's only one thing that's more exciting to me than a good pass play, and that's the offensive line with some good blocks. That was not a good pass play.
No. As a lineman, would you rather, so you played both sides of the ball?
I did.
Would you rather score as an offensive lineman or a D lineman, where you catch a touchdown pass or a scoop and score?
See, here's the thing, okay, and I'll tell you after this play. 2nd and 10 from the 35-yard line, and a flag's going to get blown, and they're going to say offsides on Westside. So here's perfect opportunity. So when I'm playing offensive line, the only thing I care about is the offense scoring. I don't care if it's the quarterback, running back, or the receivers. I'm wanting to do my job to protect my quarterback to get the ball into the end zone.
Okay.
Now defense, that's a completely other story. I'm a machine. I want that ball. Quarterback's going to drop back, throw it. It's going to be caught. Great pitch and catch there. It's caught by number 19, Carson Stanford. But back to what I was saying, on defense, the only thing I'm concerned about other than stopping the offense is getting the ball.
Yeah.
So I would 1,000% much rather either get an interception or recover a fumble and go to the end zone.
Okay. I like it. Now, You do have a rushing touchdown in your career.
I do.
You do. They put you in the backfield, and you just rumbled and tumbled and stumbled over a bunch of people.
Listen, as that play is going to get extended because the quarterback's going to break away from 3 defenders before he's brought down. It's number 8, Austin Christie on the carry. But, yeah, going back to that, I mean, and, you know, it's not something I like to brag or talk about a lot, but, you know, back in my glory days when I still played football before I stopped playing due to personal reasons, I mean, there was a play called Dump Truck Hungry. And I lined up in that fullback slot as that play is going to be ran up the middle. Running back's going to steal, rumble, bumble, stumble. He's going to juke left, and he's going to get in for another Highland Rebel touchdown as they take a lead of 46-0 with 3:50 left to go in the third quarter. But, of course, they'd snap the ball in the I formation. They hand it off. I'd run up that A-gut, and 9 times out of 10, if I'm not getting a first down, I'm getting 10, maybe even 15 yards on a good day.
Can't bring him when he's full head of steam downfield.
Listen, you put the ball in my hands, there's only one place I'm going. And to quote Yo Daddy, I'm going to score.
I like it. Go score, baby. And that's exactly what Highland did. They're saying, let's go score.
3:16 left to go in the third quarter play. We're waiting the PAT. The kick is up, and it got bobbled. And that play was absolutely dismantled there. But with 3 minutes left to go in the third quarter of play, Highland leads it 46-0. You're watching Friday Night Light coverage here on ASU-TV and Ritter Communications.
Around here, we like a slower pace, but we don't suffer with slow internet. Ritter Communications provides high-speed, reliable internet and Wi-Fi backed by local customer service. From email checkers to video streamers to hardcore gamers, we've got speed options to please all kinds of folks. If you need an upgrade or just have a question, get in touch. We can't wait to help. Ritter Communications, the right internet connection, right by you.
And welcome back to Warrior Stadium, home of the Westside Warriors, as the third quarter is just shortly about to conclude as Highland has a commanding 46-0 lead. Of course, if you missed the majority of this game, I'm Tristan Harlan here with Cooper Melder. And again, this game, as you see on the scoreboard, dictates a one-sided game, but Westside has had signs of life until travesty happened.
Yeah, and really the only negative for Highland tonight has really been the PATs and two-point conversions. I know that's something they're going to really want to emphasize and practice this upcoming week as they're getting ready for their last game and even playoffs.
And they're going to signify a touchback there, and that could have been monstrosities for the Westside return team had they not called that touchback, because the return man did not have possession of that football.
No, he did not, and that's the beauty of high school football. If the ball rolls into the end zone on kickoff, or if you catch it in the end zone on kickoff, it's an automatic touchback.
Approaching a minute left to go here in the third quarter of play. Westside will take over on their own 25-yard line due to the touchback. Again, once again, I want to remind you that this is the final home game of the Westside Warriors in the 2024 regular season. Quarterback's going to fake the pass. He's going to keep it himself up the middle for a decent gain.
Westside probably has about 2 more plays till the end of this quarter.
It'll be 2nd and 5 from their own 24. Approaching the 30-second mark. On the snap, they're going to hand it off around left-hand side, and that play is going to go straight to the turf. That's number 25, Malachi Milton, on the tackle, because there's 10 seconds remaining in the third quarter.
Yeah, now you're starting to see the mass subs come in for Highland as the quarter's ending. You probably won't see the first stringers at all in the fourth.
Well, that's going to be how the third quarter concludes, with the Highland Rebels on top, 46-0. We're going to take a step away. We'll be right back to start the fourth quarter. You're watching Friday Night Light presentation on ASU-TV and Ritter Communications.
Students should watch ASU TV just to see the creativity that a college student can get. The creativity that some of these students have is truly amazing. Getting that experience can really just take you further, and I feel like our program does that for a lot of students.
At Ritter Communications, doing right by you is being right where you need us to be. Our technicians are on call, on the road, and on the go, ready and equipped to put our service pledge into action. Storm damage, power lines, or in-home service interruptions. Getting right on it is a big part of being right by you. We go straight to the source to be the source of your internet solutions. Right by you is reliability like no other, only from Ritter Communications.
And welcome back to Warrior Stadium, home of the Westside Warriors, as we get ready to start the final quarter of the last home game for the Westside Warriors in the 2024 season. I'm Tristan Harlan here with Cooper Melder. 12 minutes away, the clock will continuously run. Quarterback's going to drop back. He's going to throw a deep pass, open man. That's going to be caught. Has room to run. He's going to cut back field, needs a block. He's going to try to spin away, still going, but he's going to get hit hard.
And they took the shot downfield, Tristan, and it worked. I love to see it.
I was waiting for that, partner. I mean, we were talking during the break about how you wanted to see them come out and absolutely throw a long ball, and you got your wish.
Indeed, I did. Love to see it.
So we first and goal on the 7 after the shocking play, to say the least.
Now, I could be wrong, and I probably am, but sources might be saying that might be the longest pass play in Westside football.
For this season, I'm sure. Take a second to let the chains get set back up here.
Making sure everybody's ready to go.
I hand it off, and flag's going to get thrown. They're going to get Highland offsides.
So that's going to move the ball to the 2-yard line, and Westside's knocking on the door.
Knocking on the door and hoping somebody's going to answer. Because there's 10 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter, and they have not found the end zone to this point yet.
And the most points they've scored in a conference game came last week when they scored 20.
Call for the snap. They're going to hand it off, and he's going to tuck his chin, and he's going to get in for the Westside touchdown. So with 10 minutes left to go in the final quarter of tonight's ball game, Westside finds pay dirt and gets him to the end zone, making our score the Highland Rebels 46, the Westside Warriors 6.
Cutting the deficit down to 40.
They're going to try to make it 39 with the PAT here. The snap, the kick is up, and it's no good. So with 9:16 left to go in the final quarter of play, Highland still in the lead by 40. Our score, 46-6. We'll be right back after this.
ASU-TV, shows like Red Wolf Roundtable, ASU-TV News, Westside Football, and more. Gain real-life experience while doing what you love. Get involved with ASU-TV today.
And welcome back to Warrior Stadium, home of the Westside Warriors. And nearing the break, Coach Engel actually took a step out on the field to discuss the field goal call, the PAT call. And Cooper, I understand you were kind of watching it closely there.
Yeah, and if you're looking now, Coach Engel is still arguing with the refs. trying to figure out. He thought it was good. But, I mean, if they call it no good, there's no replay review.
At least not here.
Yeah.
Well, regardless, the running clock still in effect. As I want to remind everybody our score is Highland 46, Westside 6. Here's the kick. Short kick. Returnable. And that time, they're brought down, but there's a little bit of extracurriculars there.
A little shoving match going on. Nothing crazy. Just smart by the Highland player there just to walk away from it. You don't want to get in trouble, do anything that could cost you going into next week.
Under 7 minutes left to go here in the final quarter of play. Highland's going to take over on their own 30. Timeout's going to get called, so we're going to take another break. When we come back, we'll have the remainder of the final quarter of play. Our score, Highland 46, Westside 6. We'll be back.
I think one of the things I learned at Arkansas State was life is 10% of what happens to you, 90% of how you respond to it, and that's just something that I live by.
A-State is home, and they're going to treat you like you're a part of the family.
Back here at Westside Warriors Stadium for the remainder of the final quarter of play. On your screen now, you're seeing Coach Bobby Engel in the huddle with his team discussing the remaining of the game plan for the 6 minutes and 40 seconds left to go in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, Coach Engel trying to get this offense fired up and probably talking to him after that kickoff return, saying, you know, you got to keep your emotions down. I know it's not how we're wanting things to go, but you just got to be smart.
So 1st and 10 from their own 30, the Highland Rebels are going to trot back out to the gridiron. Going to call for the snap. They're going to hand it off around the left-hand side. Great blocking up front. He's still on his feet up the sideline. He's going to barrel roll past the 50, which brings a fresh new set of downs here for the Rebels.
We have a new running back into the game, and that's number 18 for the Highland Rebels. There's not a 18 on the roster sheet. But shout out to number 18.
And here I thought all the tricks and the treats were going to be left yesterday. Head off on the right side. He's still on his feet. He's going to get brought down. That's number 22, Tayson Brink on the carry.
Like mentioned before, we are running clock, so we're at 5:44 and counting the rest of this matchup.
Oh, we're running the clock?
Yes, we are.
Flag call on the play.
They're going to get Highland for a false start here.
False start called against the Rebels. Be a 5-yard mark-off.
I'm going to back the Rebels up 5.
Second down coming up for the Rebels. Of course, they've pretty much been able to run their offensive at ease.
And if Highland wants to, they theoretically could hold on to the ball for the rest of the game unless they score.
Going to hand it off here. There's going to cut back, room to run, and he's going to get brought down shy of the 50. Third down upcoming for the Rebels of Highland.
And then there's just two different stories going on. Highland, you're getting players who don't normally play get to come in, and for Westside, you're senior night, you're getting seniors in, and whereas one's trying to just figure out if we can get a conference win next week, you have Highland on the other team, on the other end, thinking, all right, we got playoffs. Had a close game against Southside.
Nobody's gonna stay on his feet, room to run, but a flag's gonna be thrown near the 50. This play's gonna likely be coming back. They're going to say holding against the Rebels, so they're going to lose that play. I do want to take a second to remind everybody to watch ASU TV on cable, Facebook, and YouTube this Thursday for live election coverage as we simulcast KASU and NPR's coverage, along with providing the latest national and local election results. Coverage starts this Tuesday at 7 p.m. Central Time, only on ASU TV, your campus channel.
Speaking of elections, you went out and voted today, Tristan.
I did. Make sure everybody, you go out and vote to do your civic duties, as that's going to be a tremendous catch around the 50 to play. The clock's going to continue to roll here.
And there's a flag in the backfield.
Another holding call.
So Tristan, they were third in a country mile. Now, what do you have for this third down as they're backing up 10 more yards?
It's going to be about third and highway mile.
Making it third and 22.
.230 left to go in the final quarter.
32.
Oh, third and 32. Okay, they remarked it. Do want to real quick explain the country mile and the highway mile. Country mile is, it's a long distance, but you could really go at whatever pace because it's a country mile. There's no sheriffs out there. Highway mile, you got to stick to the speed limit, partner. Quarterback's going to drop back. He's going to pump fake once. He's going to have pressure coming. He's going to step up in the pocket. He's going to get slammed down. Great open field tackle.
The quarterback for Westside making some plays on defense. And Highland's going to bring out the punt unit for the first time all game with 1:40 left.
Be 4th and 26 from their own 29-yard line. Two return men out deep for Westside. It's a high punt.
That's a Peter moment right there. I know. Get away from that ball. Number 7 on Westside, acting like he was going towards the ball, but you don't want to do that. That's where you're yelling, Peter, get away from the football so you don't accidentally touch it. And give the ball back to Highland.
Under a minute now left to go in the final home game of the 2024 season for the Westside Warriors. Highland gonna get another win in conference, of course, just behind the undefeated Southside. Sure, that's gonna make for an interesting playoff matchup if those two teams score off. Under 30 seconds now, Westside gonna hand it off around the left side. He's still on his feet, gonna get taken down. I think the first Rebel onto the fence was number 0, but the one that's going to get credited with the tackle is number 26, Gabe Dilly. And that's likely going to do it for tonight's ball game as the clock is going to wind down. They're likely going to do one more play. The referee's telling Highland to get back as they're lining up for their good game formation. They're going to hand it off around the left side. He's still on his feet. And that one's going to get blown up once again And that's how tonight's game will conclude, with your final score being Highland 46, Westside 6. We're going to take a step away. When we come back, we're going to recap tonight's game and say a friendly goodbye. Stick around. You've got Friday Night Light coverage here on ASU-TV and Ritter Communications.
Most of us are in touch with the internet in one way or another all day long. A fast, secure connection matters. It keeps us entertained, informed, in touch. Ritter Communications cares about your connection. We know strong, reliable internet with your choice of speeds makes life better. To learn more about our internet and Wi-Fi choices, call or visit rittercommunications.com.
Students should watch ASU-TV just to see the creativity that a college student can get. The creativity that some of these students have is truly amazing. Getting that experience can really just take you further, and I feel like our program does that for a lot of students.
Around here, we like a slower pace, but we don't suffer with slow internet. Ritter Communications provides high-speed, reliable internet and Wi-Fi backed by local customer service. From email checkers to video streamers to hardcore gamers, we've got speed options to please all kinds of folks. If you need an upgrade or just have a question, get in touch. We can't wait to help. Ritter Communications, the right internet connection, right by you.
Here to deliver the latest news on A-State sports, ranging from football, basketball, baseball, and more.
I'm your host, Tristan Harlan, alongside your other host, Cooper Melder.
Red Wolf Roundtable is your local sports source.
Tune in to Red Wolf Roundtable to get your fix on sports talk and news.
I think one of the things I learned at Arkansas State was life is 10% of what happens to you, 90% of how you respond to it, and that's just something that I live by.
A-State is home, and they're going to treat you like you're a part of the family.
At Ritter Communications, doing right by you is being right where you need us to be. Our technicians are on call, on the road, and on the go, ready and equipped to put our service pledge into action. Storm damage, power lines, or in-home service interruptions. Getting right on it is a big part of being right by you. We go straight to the source to be the source of your internet solutions. Right by you is reliability like no other, only from Ritter Communications.
Back to Warrior Stadium, home of the Westside football team. As once again, I want to remind everybody that your final score in this one was the Highland Rebels 46 and the Westside Warriors 6. Tristan Harlan here with Cooper Melder. And, you know, tonight's a special night for Cooper and myself because tonight's the actual last night that we will be on the call for the Westside Warriors here on ASU-TV and Ritter Communications. Real quick, I do want to take a shout-out to two names that I think were pretty pivotal, excluding Mr. Sullivan for a second, but that's Marcus Carlton and Brandon Reed.
Yeah, you know, those two guys, if those names sound familiar to you, they were doing the games before me and you came along, and then they're like, you know what, we are going to take a step aside, and they said, you know, we trust the both of y'all, and they gave us this opportunity to call games. And, you know, shout out to them. We've done a bunch with them. We've also gone to Tennessee, called Munford games. That was really fun. But, you know, they gave us the keys. And, you know, shout out to them for having the trust and trusting us, letting us get experience and being able to call these games.
Right, and again, and another shout out I do want to have is not only the School of Media and Journalism at Arkansas State, but I want to shout out everybody at Ritter Communications for really putting together all these broadcasts in collaboration with the School of Media and Journalism, Mr. Sullivan, and all the fine folks that make this possible for students like me and you to get these opportunities. And ladies and gentlemen, if you're listening and if you're about to be a college student, if you're a college student looking to have a career, make sure to reach out to Mr. Dustin Sullivan, instructor at Arkansas State University in the School of Media and Journalism, where you can get experience from day one. I mean, Cooper and I, as young freshmen, went, and we always tell the story. We knocked down his door, and we got opportunities doing Red Wolf Roundtable, calling these games, calling games in Mumford, as Cooper mentioned, and just running production in our trailer. And wouldn't be where we are if it wasn't for Mr. Sullivan, Marcus Carlton, and Brandon Reed. But Cooper, one final time, what do you got for the crowd?
Yes, thank you for tuning in, listening to us call these games, and it's been a fun one. Can't believe 4 years have gone by that quick already. It's basically our senior night as well. But besides that, it's Westside Senior Night, so I'll shout out to the seniors and their season, playing hard all year long, ups and downs. But I just want to say thank you, and if you want to hear more of our voices before we go off and do crazy things, tune into Red Wolf Roundtable on ASU-TV.
Right, so real quick, I do want to remind you your final score once again: Highland 46, Westside 6, and again, tonight was our final night on the call for Westside football on ASU-TV, Ritter Communications, and all the games that we've covered. And just again, want to extend a thank you to all those that made this possible. So we're going to say goodnight. Hope you guys have a good weekend. Arkansas State football is on a bye, but make sure you guys are always supporting your Red Wolves, and be sure to tune in to ASU-TV and Red Wolf Roundtable to see what Cooper and I have got going on our crazy, crazy schedule. So again, thank you to all those that made this possible. We love you, and we will see you guys sometime in the near future. Peace.